Volvo was all about SUVs recently, but now it's time for a new Volvo luxury sedan. This year is the all-new Volvo ES90, completely new, never been like this here before. Also a successor, spiritually, of the S90. And I can already tell you, especially the interior will be super interesting. This year, like size-wise, goes against the BMW i5 or Mercedes EQE, but the interior luxury, maybe, can it already attack the EQS, S-Class or BMW i7? We're going to find out all about that here with Thomas Nautegefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with the closed front, because it's this electric platform. Then we have the typical Thor's Hammer LED signature. You can also get the Matrix LED in the front. Aurora Silver is the vehicle color here for today. So it's a silver with, let's say, a purple note, so to speak. Design-wise, I think it works very well, and it's also refreshing to finally see a sedan once again, and not only SUVs. And of course, also better for the drag coefficient. This is the most aerodynamic Volvo ever so far, 0.25, which is not like super excellent. There are cars that are way better than that. You know, like a Mercedes EQS has like 0.20. If you now compare like a BMW i5, yes, that would also be 0.25 in the M Sport version or the M60, otherwise 0.24. So this one here is a little bit worse, but definitely way better than, for example, Volvo EX90 SUV. So this is also then crucial for the aerodynamic efficiency on the motorway, for example. You can already see it right here. It's not a super flat sedan. Reminds me a little bit then of the Neo ET9 recently. This here 18 centimeters or 7 inches of ground clearance. So it's not really like an off-road vehicle or something, but more like, say, a crossover sedan. Wheels from 20 to 22 inch. These are the biggest wheels, really massive. Of course, the best range is not with the widest tires, you know, rather the small ones. The length here is 5 meters or 197 inches, so a substantial length indeed. And you get either a rear-wheel drive version or all-wheel drive. The rear-wheel drive version, 6.9 seconds in the acceleration figure. The all-wheel drive versions, 5.5 or 4 seconds. That's the strongest one with 680 horsepower, so really powerful. And the rear-wheel drive is also connected to this small battery. Small battery is 88 kilowatt hours net. The big battery, combined with all-wheel drive, is 102 kilowatt hours net. Both are NMC chemistry. And the recharging figures are also pretty impressive. Here's the charging flap here on the driver's side. 11 kilowatt AC, so far no 22, waiting on that. Then here DC peak is 300 or even 350 kilowatt. And in both cases, because the smaller battery, of course, not that high peak, but then again it's smaller, but both batteries charge in 20 minutes from 10 to 80% state of charge, because they use this 800 volt charging infrastructure. That's also, of course, they're taking advantage from this Geely Corporation, where they can also see and get the tech. Here, interesting light signature that already starts here in this rear windshield. That looks amazing. And then a more typical Volvo-esque design here. We've also seen it on the EX30, the small new electric SUV, for example. So I think design-wise, it works very well. I mean, a little bit bulky here, of course, because they still want to save some more headroom. But actually more Bauhaus design than maybe some of the German new cars recently, or what do you think about that? So I'm really looking forward to your feedback about the design of this vehicle, if you find it stunning, or, I mean, I think in the front we can all agree on that. In the rear, especially in this perspective, I think probably we will find some who love it and some maybe who don't. And I can always show you right now, we soon take a detailed look to the trunk, but already right now here, that this will be a fastback opening. So not a separate sedan trunk, but here very well accessible. The only advantage of a fixed sedan trunk is sometimes that, I mean, you have less noise on the interior by that, and also because of burglary reasons, some prefer like a fixed trunk. But to load things in and out and to be as flexible as with an estate, like a wagon. This, of course, is a very cool solution, that you do have this fastback trunk here. Heat pump is also here with this vehicle, so you don't have too much range losses than in wintertime. Of course, when we can drive it at a later stage, we'll keep you updated about the real consumption data and so on. Considering this battery size, I mean, with the big battery, did I say both NMC chemistry? I think I did say it, right? Maybe at a later stage, it will also introduce an LFP battery. So the concise range figures, with a big battery, and if you don't drive too fast, I would realistically estimate like some 500 kilometers, 300 miles. I always give like conservative estimates because we have the experience that with other vehicles like from Volvo, Polestar, Zeekr, so the whole GD group, that the electric vehicles have a problem of high energy consumption at really high speeds, which is mainly maybe a German thing, because in most countries you then limit at 100, 120 kilometers an hour on the motorway. But for us in Germany, for example, it is a problem because we also sometimes want to drive faster on the German Autobahn. And then the consumption goes way up, and only the very aerodynamic EVs are good than they are. For example, like a Tesla Model 3, Tesla Model S, Mercedes EQS, VW ID.7. These are very good in aerodynamics, and that's why they also have low consumption, also at higher speeds. Whereas, again, experience is most of these from the Geely Corporation so far not. So this could be one but with this vehicle, the 1T BUT. But of course, we can give you a concise estimate then when we can drive this vehicle very soon. And here, let's open the hood. And I mean, this is also more aerodynamic than the others, right? Here, this is a small frunk with the all-wheel drive version. It could be a little bit larger with the rear-wheel drive only version. Here, this is, by the way, like a fixed kit here for the tire mobility stuff, like this compressor and so on. There it is. Of course, you could also put this even like a silhouette here for a charging cable, that a small charging cable could also be put here in the front. It has this separate release here in the front though. By the way, also interesting here, the braking light. There we go. So that appears right here, small and horizontal. And of course, there's the third braking light there on the top. This is what I can show to you. Unfortunately, because some of you might have already noticed, we have not shown you the indicators yet. That is not possible today because the car is in this special showroom mode. But of course, we can show them to you as soon as possible. Oh, just like here you can see, by the way, this car is still hand-built. These transitions here, you know, this is something I hope that will go away with the final vehicle. So, I mean, I usually mention these things, and then when we have a later car that is like really from the works and from the series production, then we can compare it and also tell you if this was something that it's normal, that some of the stuff is in the first hand-built cars, but later then we can compare if it's the same case for the works production cars or not. Now about the doors and interior here, these door handles, they go in and out when you open or close the vehicle. By the way, here this vehicle is also equipped with a soft close. There we go, yeah. Need to induce that basically, you know, but you can also slam the door, of course, and then it still has a nice sound. And same goes also for the rear, very good solid sound, and also the rear has the soft close. Yeah, there we go. And then inside of the doors, really nice with the soft leatherette cover on the top. And here a matte wood is being used. Different decor elements are available. That's very cool. Either 14-speaker Bose sound system, or here the Bowers & Wilkins sound system, 25 speakers, and it's one of my favorite in the industry, honestly. Here, a plush leatherette also used, and then this handle is integrated. Nice design and still functional. This is how you open the doors from the inside, and the window levers. Optional, you get illuminated glass, by the way. That's an option. And here in the lower part, that's the only plastic part, but it's nicely integrated, and at least like some rubber background, that stuff doesn't fly around that you know, that much. Then you have ES90 entry sill badges here. The classic known Volvo floor mats like this. They're also yeah, not that low floor. They are more premium than most others, honestly. Here the seat control is right here, and it's like up and down, forward like this, and here you turn then for the back part of the seat. Steering wheel dual tone scheme. Soon more details to that. Also small digital instruments. Here also nice integration of the wood, and the air vent can be controlled like this. So yeah, it looks really amazing, this interior, I can already tell you so far. These seats here, they start with like a Nordico leatherette, which would be closed like this in different colors, that it would be all over the seat like this. And then option, you get it perforated like you see here. So this is the perforated Nordico, together with seat ventilation, both front and rear. And that is of course then good for all kinds of climate situations. An option, you can also get like a fabric seat with some wool share, and they still offer here some animal skin seat. But it's only an option, and most will probably go for these here because this is the best solution. You have a perforation, you have it durable, and you can wipe it clean, and also animal friendly. So Volvo shows how it's done here with this very spec of this very vehicle, and it's also very comfortable from a seating position. That's nice. And you also feel that, yes, it's a sedan type, but since this has here like 18 centimeters or 7 inches of ground clearance, it's not a low seating sedan, you know, so maybe something like a crossover seating position. The view to the front, however, I can already see it here from the reflections in the windscreen. Because of the angle of the windscreen, that could be a problem, I'm not sure. But we have to see, of course, when we can drive this car for you very soon, if this is like an issue or not. But already there will be so much to talk about this interior of the vehicle, I can guarantee. Welcome to this cockpit experience here. This will be really exciting, I can promise. So first of all, on the dashboard here, high-grade leatherette as well, and also with some dampening underneath. Here, the optional Bowers & Wilkins sound system. You can get a Bose sound system or this Bowers & Wilkins sound system with even more speakers actually. Bright wood decor element. You can get different decor, but this is just a lovely decor element. Here, by the way, a small Swedish flag here. That's like the imprint of a Swedish flag. There will be a glove box, however, we cannot open it at this moment because the car is in showroom mode and some features are restricted for that. So that will be available here. You can press a button and here for glove box, and then it will open. Nicely that here the middle console is also somewhat, like covered here, not just like plastic or something, or bright plastic, so it's a little bit softened when you touch it with your knee or so. Then we have here the bright wood decor element. That's also beautiful again, and then slide this open. Not sure if this is a little bit, not perfect in the build quality, but it's a prototype vehicle here, so not a final works production vehicle. Let's see if that is better than later on. Then here, adaptive cup holders too, and in the front there's an inductive charging pad for your smartphone, also with ventilation holes so that the smartphone does not overheat. Looking forward to test that definitely. Then the armrest, is it plush enough? I think so, yeah. And then also let's see, here this is also well built, more space than underneath in there. And the USB-C chargers are right here, basically looking forward. One more time here, the driver POV. Good material also here from the animal-free steering wheel. That's really lovely. Also in this dual tone design, I love that. Here in the buttons, they are okay, but you see it's one big button field and then individual controls for that actually. But really lovely again, this dual theme design. There's a shifting lever, and then in the infotainment system, it's really large, vertical here. So you have these vehicle functions here, always the hotkey in the lower part, where you then can, for example, also open later the glove box or the electrochrome shade control. Here, one pedal driving on or off is also interesting. And of course, if you have the large map, the cool thing is here with the Volvo infotainment system, Google Maps inbuilt, also the route recalculations. And here, for example, that you have your charging stops planned. Here, for example, now from Gothenburg to Stockholm this way, and it says here 2 charging stops each, so 33 minutes overall charging, not in 2 stops. That's actually quite good overall. I like it because Google Maps has the nice traffic view and also like the route recalculation, and you don't need it on your smartphone, yet at the same time you have the calculation and not some random internal navigation system by some manufacturer. I think it's the right way to do it exactly like this. Inside of the rear doors, here also nicely covered with that high-grade leatherette, and here also the bright wood decor. I love that. Also this integrated grab handle here, and everything covered here and here. It's like the handle from the inside to open it. Also here for the windows, for example. And this is here the electric control of the rear seat. Soon going to show that to you. Just the lower part here, this is not covered here with anything. So this is more the plastic thing, but this lower part, then again, this is covered here with the leatherette. So I would say like 90–95% excellent, something like that. Really nice. Then Isofix at the outside seats each, and we also then have the Nordico leatherette perforated here, and see here also how plush it is in the rear. So once again, excellent as for the comfort and also for the looks. I mean, look at that cocooning atmosphere here in the rear. That is indeed something special. Reminds me a little bit also of the Polestar 4. And you see, it also works when you still have a rear window, actually. And yeah, first of all, as I was shown to you at the inside of the door, you can really adjust it here electrically. So more forward, more upright like this, or more backward, more in a relaxing position. Yeah, I think most of the time more relaxing is good, definitely. Really plush also from the cushions here, from the, you know, here from the head restraints. Yeah, from the headroom, here it gets a little bit close to the inside. It's still okay with 1.89 m, 6'2", panoramic roof. At the moment it's here with this electrochrome shade, and it's in a showroom mode here, this car, as I told you, so we cannot change it here at the moment, but you can switch it through, you know, so, but the electrochrome function is an option, actually. And then we have another interesting detail here, so it shines through this wooden deco element, so there's a backlighting behind the wooden deco element here, also a very nice idea, and there's lots of legroom, look at that. And that's more than in comparable sedans at that size, so very, you know, kudos to this massive amounts of rear legroom, although I'm sitting here as a tall driver in the front. The only thing that's still here, this EV platform problem, you have the battery in the lower floor, and that makes, you know, where your feet are just so high. You see it here, like the angle of my legs. So in a combustion engine vehicle, I would, like, my legs would be more like this, you know, and they would be laying on the bench. But here, since the floor is so high, it's more or less like this, you know, like exaggerated. So this is the only problem, so to speak. However, because the seats are plush and you have a lot of room, it's still very comfortable. So I would also, it almost feels like a luxury sedan in the rear indeed. So the like the high floor is the only compromise we have here. Interesting is also here this middle function. So head restraint and so on, you can also sit here in the middle part. So yeah, it's a little bit hard at the back, but you see it's definitely 5 tall adult proof, no problem at all. And then here I pull this down. It's interesting how it folds down also in the smooth way. Why not? Then again, this nice bright wood decor element. Then you can open this one for adaptive cup holders, so very luxurious like that. And here another opening space. Look at, yeah, maybe, I'm not sure. It's on the one hand, it's a nice opening help, but that it, you know, crashes against this one here, that's maybe not that cool. And then here's some like very small cubby hole. But when you drive like this here also, yeah, this feels almost executive already. So really appreciate it. And honestly, if you compare it to a Mercedes EQS, I mean, this is more against the EQE and the BMW i5. But in comfort, I think that's better than the Mercedes EQS, honestly. Yeah, so that's really nice. The only thing I really would wish that we have a lower floor, like these foot garages, like the Porsche Taycan and the Audi e-tron GT did. In the middle part, you have two more USB-C charger in the lower part there, a little bit darkened down there. And then here you have climate unit, nice clicking sounds, and here also seat heating and seat cooling for the rear seats. It also works simultaneously. So think about a rainy winter day where it's maybe rain outside and it's cold, and then you might say, hey, like a dryer for your hair or something, you know, you have ventilation plus heating at the same time, dry your clothes, and yeah, that's cool. So rarely see that. Great luxury features indeed. Now to the trunk or the boot, which is at 390 liters, and you see it is this fastback opening, so that gives you a great access to the trunk area here. This trolley also fits in vertically, about a meter, a little bit more, or 40 inches in width, and also about a 40 inches or a meter in length, so that's good. We can also check out the height, but first of all, here underneath you can have some storage for a charging cable and stuff. Here is interesting, these are some foldable hangers like this. I'm not so sure it's like here integrating this whole area here. I'm not sure if it in the final vehicle will be a better build quality. And then here this, yeah, more or less automatic cover, because it's manually moving automatically with it. That's the right expression here, like this. We can also deinstall it if we like. And you can also fold the seats from here. Yeah, grab over here, or just the middle part would also be possible. and like this, and then we have this full length setup. So the Volvo in full length in this time, and there we're going to see here, yeah, this is the full ruler, like 2 meters or 79 inches. So that's actually pretty long, so well usable. The height here, by the way, is maybe the only limiting factor, but it's even like here 60 centimeters or 24 inches. So it's higher than it looks like, just because it's here, of course, a little bit more shallow. But that's the highest point. The only compromise you have that's falling here, but I mean, considering it has a sedan form, this is a very well usable trunk defo. Very interesting here, by the way, the will it fit board. So it shows you what stuff can be, like you have the measurements, like you don't need, like the part where we actually measure it ourselves, you can directly see and read how long the individual parts are, that you can go to IKEA and get stuff in, and you know what you can load in. Towing is either 1.6 ton with the rear drive or 2 tons with the all-wheel drive, if that's relevant to you. And of course, the big question about the price. It starts in the small battery version. I mean, the small battery is not that much smaller than the big battery, so 102 minus 88. It's not such a large gap there, actually. But the smallest battery version here at 72,000 euros, as a German reference price, for example. The other European prices will be similar. And up to 95,000 euros in the highest trim, all-wheel drive, big battery. So you can spec it to almost 100K, something like that. I mean, in comparison to the competition, that's still, you know, very competitive. They do have to pay these special fees now, the additional EV fees for vehicles built in China, because this one is not built in the Charleston plant in the US like the Volvo EX90 and the Polestar 3. This one here is built in China in a Geely plant, and that's why also these additional tariffs will count for the EU imports. So we have to keep you updated on that, if it will maybe change something in the future. But yeah, we can imagine, because it's like almost 19%. So this could then even be cheaper theoretically. But yeah, we have to see about future price decisions then in that respect. But overall, still a very competitive vehicle. It will indeed be crucial how efficient it is while driving, also then when we go a little bit quicker on the German Autobahn, for example. But overall, from the package, I think it works very well. Some things, of course, in the interior, like the user interface, I would like to have a little bit more like simpler or something. But I was really amazed of the materials, you know, animal-free, very luxurious, good seating comfort. The look and feel of this vehicle on the interior is excellent indeed. And also the rear seating experience, which only has this one negative factor, that the floor is really high. Like with most other EVs we've seen, with most SUVs actually too. This is like one limiting factor. Other than that, this can be compared to other luxury sedans indeed. And I think that's the thing that you should do now. Enjoy more of our luxury sedan reviews.